afternoon and welcome to the first one of our 4 broadcasts around apprenticeships here at AstraZeneca. My name's Emma Wood and I am the Talent Acquisition Partner here, and I support the recruitment of UK apprentices into AstraZeneca. I've got a couple of colleagues with me here today. Both are named Kim, so that's easy for me. I won't forget anybody's name. So ladies, can I ask you to introduce yourselves, please?
Sure.
Kim.
Hi, I'm Kim Hardman. I'm the UK Apprentice Programme Manager for AstraZeneca.
Hi everybody, my name's Kim Brandt and I am the Early Talent Partner for IT. So I look after the apprentices and the graduates for IT here at AZ.
Thanks, Kim. So just a quick reminder to post any comments or questions that you've got, and we'll answer them once the broadcast is finished and comment on those. So please do get involved and ask as many questions or make any comments that you like. So Kim, can I come to you first?
Yeah.
What I'd like for you to do is give us an overview of AstraZeneca and what our organisation is all about, please.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so AstraZeneca is a global science-led organisation, and what I mean by that is that everything we do, no matter what function area you work in, everything is channeled into getting medicines to patients. We're one of the very few end-to-end pharmaceutical companies around, and what that means is we have everything within our organisation from early stage science, so everything from drug discovery, molecules, medicines, right through to drugs being made, logistics, supply chain, everything right through to sales and marketing at the very end. So 2018 was a significant milestone for AstraZeneca. It was the first time in 6 years that we'd actually returned to growth. So it's actually a really exciting time at the moment to join us at AstraZeneca. At the moment, we've got about 64,600 employees in over 100 countries, and that translates to about 6,400 in the UK. We invest in 3 main therapeutic areas: oncology, cardiovascular, renal and metabolism, and respiratory. But we are also engaged in additional areas of science where we feel we can make a real difference to patients. We have production facilities in 18 countries. We've got 30 production facilities, and 44.6% of our senior roles are filled by women.
That's great. So can we move on now to find out a bit more about apprentices? So what is an apprentice?
Yeah.
And also the types of programmes that we have available here at AstraZeneca.
Yeah, no problem. So an apprentice is a job with practical training and studying. And what I mean by that is apprentices in AstraZeneca will come into a real job within the organisation, and they will spend working with teams into a proper job. They'll spend 20% of their working week on their studies. So they're working with an external training provider who will support them with the qualification that goes alongside their apprenticeship. Within AstraZeneca, we have a huge variety of apprenticeships. We have everything from manufacturing, engineering, so more vocational areas, but highly technical and very specialised, through to a variety of opportunities within science. So we have a lot of opportunities in science, particularly about being in laboratories for day one. And I know from talking to some of our science apprenticeships, what they've noticed compared to their friends and peers who maybe have done the university route is they don't get that much access to the labs, whereas on an apprenticeship you're in the laboratory all the time.
Yeah.
We have HR, we've got supply chain, we've got business admin, chartered manager, and we've also recently done clinical trials. And from 2020 we're going to have procurement apprentices. It's hopefully, fingers crossed, looking like finance as well. Some great opportunities coming through as well. We're also got some people in the organisation doing senior leader MBA now as well, which is a big step forward. In terms of when you would join AstraZeneca to do an apprenticeship, there is no minimum age. There is a minimum age, I'm lying. The minimum age for AstraZeneca is 18, and the reason why we have 18 is because going into the labs, you can't be any younger than 18, and we've just kept that across the board. Yeah. So we tend to bring people in after they've done their A-levels. Yeah. There's no maximum age, so anybody can apply. And location-wise, we have sites right the way across the UK. So at the moment, the majority of our apprentices are across Cambridge, across Macclesfield, but we have just recently started apprentices in our Luton office, which is where our sales and marketing are based from as well.
Okay, great. Thanks very much,
no
Kim.
problem.
So, Kim, to come to you now, what I'd like you to do is just to give us a bit more information about the IT apprenticeship programme in a little bit more detail, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Emma. And I think important to note as well that I am a former HR apprentice, so I've actually been through this programme as well as now looking after the IT apprentices. So. I'm here to talk a little bit about our IT apprenticeship, and our IT apprenticeship is a 4-year programme where you get to do a BSc in Digital and Technology Solutions at either Manchester Metropolitan University or Anglia Ruskin down in Cambridge.
Yeah.
For MMU, our apprentices spend 1 day a week at university, and for Anglia Ruskin, they go in every 3 months for an intensive 1-week block learning. The really cool thing about our IT apprenticeship is that your rotations are really, really flexible. So in IT, we do 8-month rotations. You get to do 4 8-month rotations and then a year consolidation at the end of your programme. And that's really led by what you're interested in, what you like to do. So the way that we work is that we go out to the IT business area every 8 months, and we ask them to submit some opportunities, some projects that they think would be interesting for apprentices and also our graduates. And it's then down to you to look into to see whether that's something you'd be interested in. We then ask you to reach out to the appropriate managers and teams, and then alongside, talking to me and Emma Nawar, who's our programme lead, you'll then get to decide on what you would like to be doing in that rotation. So we have apprentices working on various different things. So I've got some apprentices working on new apps for patients, some coding new software, designing dashboards, internal platforms, some new technologies for our scientists, as well as lots of different projects internally as well.
Okay, great. So what about the degree? Can you give us a bit more information about that?
Yeah, of course. So doing a degree and working, as Kim referred to earlier, is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. But the great thing is you do get a lot of support with your degree. So when you come into, and I'll use IT as the example, but I know it happens across the board. You come in with my support, as well as a mentor for the 4 years for the programme. So you have 2 really consistent people that understand your programme and support you through that. Your mentor is a relatively senior leader in the IT organisation, and we also align you with a buddy as well. And a buddy is someone who has either been through the programme or is currently on the programme.
And those 2 people stay with you throughout?
Yeah, they stay with you throughout the 4 years. So they know exactly what you're going through. They can help you with both your studies and with working life, which are 2 very different things that you're expected to do and learn with us. So as well as that, you also get, as you rotate, a rotation manager. So that person will manage you throughout your 8-month rotation, and that's really a person to support you with your goals and objectives for that rotation, to help you look at any day-to-day queries, and really understand their team and their area of IT. So these pairings are given to you at the beginning of your programme, and even now some of our graduated apprentices I know have still really, really good relationships with their mentors and their buddies. So it's really great to see those connections in IT.
Yeah. Okay.
So the one thing I'd say about IT is that we are incredibly invested in our early talent programmes. Our first cohort graduated this year, and they've all secured permanent roles within AstraZeneca, and they all received either a first or a 2-1 in their degree, so we are so, so proud of them.
Fantastic achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And some of them are now even doing their masters in a really similar way, so they're going into university once every 3 months actually for their masters.
Yeah.
So it's great to see that we're also continuing investing in their development as well.
Yeah.
So the projects and the work that our apprentices get involved in IT, I think it's really important to mention, are industry-leading projects. They're not projects that we've made up for apprentices. They are genuine business problems or projects that we need doing, and they're involved in those and sometimes leading them. I also wanted to note that we have also got our apprenticeship now in Cambridge as well as in Macclesfield. So if you are in the surrounding areas of Cambridge, please definitely consider us, as well as up here in the northwest. And just to finish, I thought I would just say that if you're thinking, oh, I couldn't do IT because I'm not very good with computers, I don't know anything about coding, I'm always breaking my phone, I always have to Google the answer to something, please please don't be put off by being an IT apprentice. There are so many different areas of IT here at AZ, and we really do tailor the programme around each individual. So if you're excited by technology and you're intrigued how IT can help AstraZeneca change lives and bring new medicines to patients, please reach out to me or any of our current apprentices, or use the message function on Facebook, on the AstraZeneca site, to find out more about our programme.
That's great. Thanks so much, Kim. That was really interesting to hear. So if anybody's just joined us, we are live on Facebook talking about our apprenticeship programmes here at AstraZeneca. My name is Emma Wood and I'm joined by a couple of my colleagues, Kim Hardman and Kim Brandt. So Kim, can I come back to you now? I suppose what I'd like us to talk about is the perception of somebody applying for an apprenticeship, and just sort of allaying anybody's fears, particularly for parents or perhaps school tutors that are tuning in and listening to us today. What would you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's a really good point, Emma. Thank you for bringing it up. I suppose my message is, people of my generation, and I think even the generation below, I think there's still a perception that apprenticeships are purely vocational. And yes, some of them are still vocational. It's important that some of them are still vocational, but actually there's an awful lot now of more professional industry apprenticeships as well, and a lot more with foundation degrees and masters. So there's a lot more variety now in terms of what the art of the possible is. So I think for me, it's important to look at an apprenticeship. It's not a second-class option.
No.
It's an alternative to university, and I think some people, there's some alarming statistics out there about parents who think that their child is too good for a university, and I think what I would say is encourage your child. If your child, or if you're watching from a school or a student knows what they want to do, get them to research it properly. Yeah. Don't just assume that university is the only way, because a lot of the times now there's an apprentice route as well, and it's a different alternative. And the amount of apprentices that say to me, "Oh, I was just so glad to get out of school. I was done with education," and I've said, "Well, you're still doing education." And they say, "Yeah, it's different because it's aligned to my job and it brings it to life, and I love it." So I suppose it's just, for me, apprentices come in here in the organisation. Grads come in here, but they both end up here. The amount of senior leaders that we've got in our business, our site head here, who started life as an apprentice. Yeah. So it's kind of look at it and don't just write it off. And if your child's interested, encourage them to research it properly. Yeah. Our business loves apprenticeships. They love all early talent. There's something about an apprentice that comes in. A lot of the time they're coming straight from A levels. They're coming in. They're green. They're not remotely phased by hierarchy. They will challenge what we do, and the business loves it. Yeah. They like to be kept up to date with latest technologies and different ways of doing things. Yeah. So it's a two-way learning for us when we bring them in.
Great. Okay. Anything to add from your perspective, Kim?
No, I think just please consider an apprenticeship. Yeah. It's not for everyone, but it certainly is for a lot of people that haven't thought about it yet. So get in touch with us. Please go onto our Early Talent website. Yeah. Read up. We've got some great videos and different insights on there about what we're looking for and what it's like to be an apprentice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
you both.
Feel free to reach out, like Kim said, about
we'll put our details.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Feel free, if you've got any questions, then just come back to us.
That's great. Thanks very much.
No problem. Thanks, Emma.
So that pretty much wraps up the session for today. Just a couple of things to remind you about. Please do feel free to comment or post any questions that you have. Our apprenticeship roles for 2020 go live on the 3rd of January. So you can access all of those roles on the AstraZeneca Careers website. The link is below and it'll be on the closing slide. And also don't forget to join us on the 21st of November. That's our next broadcast. We'll be talking to apprentices about how they started their application with us, that experience, and any hints and tips that they want to share with us, and we'll be touching on how to pull together a CV, etc. So I hope to see you on the 21st of November, 1 p.m. UK time, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye. Can we move yet?